Hello, hello, ladies. Welcome back to Ladies Who Lunch. I'm Marci Bailey.
And I'm Alyssa Canty.
And we are here to talk back to basics, sapphires. You know, we thought it was such an appropriate thing. We've, been talking a lot about diamonds lately, which of course is definitely our most loved gemstone, I would say. But as soon as we started talking about colored stones, sapphires quickly rose to the top of our list for so many reasons. So we're going to talk today, give you guys a little bit of education on sapphires in general, and then also talk about what do you want to consider when buying a sapphire. Also, some different great custom options for sapphires, and show you some amazing pieces that feature all kinds of different beautiful designs, colors, kind of all kinds of fun things.
Sapphires are really fun.
I know, right?
They are.
I was telling Alyssa this morning when I was getting ready, I was like, ooh, let me pull out something of mine that has sapphires in it to wear. And here is what I pulled out. This is an Elizabeth Locke ring. And it is really cool to see what various designers, how they use sapphires and interpret them in their designs. Cool. So the center stone in this ring is not a sapphire. It's a cabochon stone. As you can see, it's a dome. And it's a stone called labradorite.
I love that.
And what I love about this design by Elizabeth Locke is a lot of times you'll see labradorite as a lower quality stone used in like bead jewelry. And she used a more gem quality specimen and really elevated it with the use of sapphires, right?
Made it like even more amazing.
Oh my gosh, we're starting to think alike. Elevate. And this is set in 19 karat gold by Elizabeth Locke. So it's a fun place to start, to be able to share something with you guys that is from my own collection. So for those of you that have never joined us for Ladies Who Lunch, Alyssa and I sit down once a week, eat lunch, and talk about all things jewels.
Yeah, all things that we even think about.
Right?
It's just jewels.
That's all we think about. It's pretty much all we talk about. And we eat lunch together a lot anyway, so we thought we might as well let y'all be a part of it. So here we are. We're so glad you are with us.
I really think we only talk about jewels and maybe
dogs.
Dogs and TV shows.
Right, and TV shows.
Yeah, and what your kids do.
Yes, and what we're going to eat for our next lunch.
And what we're doing for lunch.
Yeah, that's about right.
It works.
Okay, question for you. Okay, so what anniversaries would you give a gift of sapphires? Do you know that off the top of your head?
I feel like I'm on Jeopardy. Yes, I do.
Oh.
So you do it for the 5th and the 45th.
I'm impressed. Yes. Good job. Yes. So 5th anniversary, ding, 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 5 points for you.
Thank you.
5th anniversary and 45th anniversary is the time that you give the gift of sapphires, which I love. And obviously most people also know that it is the September birthstone.
September. I know. Those are lucky ladies.
I know, right?
Yeah.
My sister-in-law is a September birthstone.
My aunt, my two cousins her daughters were both born in September and then April. So she's got the best of the world.
Sapphire and
diamond. So I was like, oh, that's gorgeous.
Okay, so for all of my gem nerd friends out there, which I'm one of them, let's just talk basic details. So sapphires are the mineral corundum. So under that umbrella of corundum, you're going to have sapphires, which are typically seen as being blue. And then outside of that blue color is considered fancy colored sapphires, which are going to be all colors except for red. And if you're seeing red, it's still a corundum, but that's a ruby.
Yes.
The amazing thing about sapphires and why they have been so versatile and used in jewelry for so long is on the Mohs hardness scale, they're a 9. So next to diamonds, they're going to be your hardest gemstone, which makes them so durable for everyday wear.
Yeah, they're they're perfect for wearing wearability of a gemstone. And just because, one thing I do like to mention with ladies is, now a sapphire, just because it is a 9 doesn't mean it isn't 9, 10. It's 9, then 10. So it does go.
It's not an even scale.
It's not even.
That's true.
So they are, you don't want to, you can't just smack them around and do anything with them. But
they are not as hard as diamonds for sure.
But they are definitely a good substitute if you are not a diamond person for some reason.
And if you're thinking colored stones, this is going to be your best option. And I think because you can truly get them in any color.
I know.
If I ever have a client that is interested in something a little more unique, I always try to take them the route of sapphires because it is going to be your most long-term wearing stone for everyday wear.
Some fun different colors. Susan can
I know. This is the perfect illustration. So this bracelet is from the Bailey's Goldmark collection, and every single stone that you're seeing in that bracelet is sapphire. So it truly is all the colors of the rainbow. And I think it's important to point out too that you're going to see sapphires even in brown, gray, and black, and clear.
Yes.
Which we were just talking about it. You reminded me that a brand we used to carry called Slane made some beautiful jewelry with the clear sapphires.
They did.
And it's a great accent stone. They are actually pretty rare, so you don't see them a ton in jewelry.
No, not even.
But it's a great option. And black sapphires are super cool too.
They are really cool.
Yeah. My brother has a black sapphire that's a cabochon cut, and it's a star sapphire, which is super cool.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later.
Yes.
That's really fun.
What makes them phenomenal. Yes. Okay, so like we were saying, sapphires, as you can see here, are typically going to be blue, but they're different levels of blue. So every sapphire is made up exclusively of aluminum and oxygen, but then you're going to have some trace elements, and that's going to be what determines the color. So the more iron that is in a sapphire, the darker blue it's going to be.
That's so cool.
Isn't that cool? So this pair of earrings right here is a great example. And really, the value in sapphires is determined by the saturation of that blue. So you have a pair here that are so dark that they're almost black looking. Yeah. And you get a larger stone, and like these earrings here, they're large. They're 1.15 carats total weight, and they're $1,400. They're 6 millimeters round, so they're equivalent to about a 1 carat diamond, just about. And $1,400, it's a great value for somebody that's looking for a pair of sapphire earrings. But the reason that you're hitting that price point is because they are so deeply saturated and so dark because of that iron element that they're not as expensive as a stone that was more vivid and bright blue. Yeah, so again, that's your iron. The more iron in the stone is going to give you that darker color, but the iron and the titanium together are what give you the blue.
Yeah.
And like we were just saying, as far as like quality factors, the color, the more saturated and vivid the blue is, the more expensive the stone is going to be because it's more rare and more desirable.
Yeah. And the really fun thing about color gemstones too, and I think this with diamonds as well, is color is all personal preference.
It is.
So like I really love that royal rich color blue sapphire, where some people may like the lighter blue sapphire and prefer that, and it's not my choice is better than another choice.
Yeah.
It's
personal
all
preference,
personal
right?
preference. And that's what's so cool about sapphires is they come in all these colors.
I know, it's so true. And I think the perfect example is to show this light blue star that's on your pad, Alyssa. Because how gorgeous is that stone?
I know.
It's amazing.
It's beautiful. I love the color of it.
I do too.
It's almost like a periwinkle.
I know.
And sapphires that have that kind of violet undertone are really kind of what you normally think of as a sapphire, and so that's just a real light one.
Yeah,
like that.
it's so pretty. So yeah, the color is right on. It's just less saturated. And I love that it's cut in a cabochon, meaning it's domed.
Yeah.
Without any individual faceting. It's just such a pretty piece. I love that.
It's really cool.
Okay, so we talked about color.
Yep.
And kind of what determines the color. I think it's so cool to mention too, you know, you see all these sapphires sitting here and you think like, oh, they must be a really common gemstone. But just like diamonds, sapphires are very rare.
They are.
For them to be created in the earth, that you have to have a complete absence of silicone, and silicone is super common in the various earth layers. And so the fact that they can be created at all makes them rare.
They are really rare.
Yeah, and super cool. Okay.
We were talking about the color and different hues of that blue and the ranges of color. So this is a great example showing how it goes from that real light, bright color.
I love that ring. It's so pretty.
That one's got a really cool color. Very true sapphire, where I was saying I really liked a little bit more deeper of a color, that kind of royal look.
Yeah, and that's typically referred to as royal blue, right?
Yes, and that's what Princess Diana had, that real royal blue color. And then this one is even darker, more of that kind of midnighty blue. Reminds me of a real pretty night sky.
And you'll hear sometimes, guys, people refer to a sapphire as like a cashmere sapphire. So what's interesting is a lot of times that's used as a description of color, but cashmere is actually a location that sapphires are mined, and typically you won't have a gemstone with an actual like certificate of location. You can get them occasionally, but you don't see it very often. So to call it cashmere, it would indicate that it's actually from cashmere versus the actual like color tone. So just something to keep in mind. So I think that covers everything for color. Do we want to kind of talk about where sapphires are mined in the world? There's a lot of different places, which is kind of cool.
I think the most you see is you get them in Southeast Asia. Yep. So like Sri Lanka, Thailand, Myanmar, that kind of area is really popular. Madagascar too, right?
Yeah. So starting in like the 1990s, it was really interesting. They had a discovery in Madagascar of fancy colored sapphires. So you found a lot of them there, as well as East Africa, which was a new location to be finding them. And it really kind of opened up the market to all these really cool fancy colored sapphires. And when we say fancy color, we mean any color that's not blue or not red, because then that would be a ruby.
Yeah.
And we have some very pretty,
real pretty fancy
colors. So
some pretty pinks.
I know. So those two pieces are like the cream of the crop.
Oh yeah, they
amazing,
are phenomenal
pink sapphires. And they're from a designer that we carry in our store named Robert Prokop. And they're like the finest of the fine. They're absolutely amazing.
He designs for red carpets and celebrities.
Oh yes.
They're definitely the finest of the fine.
I mean, yes.
They're gorgeous.
Those earrings are amazing.
And he uses all non-heated sapphires too, so that does take into your price point and really give that fine quality.
So that's worth talking about. So one thing to know about sapphires is the majority of them are going to be treated with heat, and that is an accepted practice within our industry. So do not be afraid if you ask, has this sapphire been treated, and they tell you yes. As long as it's heat treated, that is acceptable.
Yeah.
On the flip side of that, you can get certification with sapphires that shows that they are unheated. That makes them a lot more rare.
Yes.
Because we know the majority of sapphires are heat treated to make the color more desirable. So if you get a beautiful sapphire and it's proven to be unheated, it puts it in an entire different category as far as rarity, and makes the price point on a completely different level as well. So something to consider. We do get inquiries from people saying that they have read online and they want an unheated sapphire. If that's something you're interested in, we can absolutely do that. But I think it's important to point out that it is an accepted practice within our industry to heat them.
And there's nothing wrong with it. It still gives it's still going to be structurally sound. It's still going to be just as beautiful. It's actually making it more beautiful.
More beautiful.
It's not like they're putting anything foreign into the gemstone to give it that look and that beauty. It is really just it's like warming it up to bring out that pretty color.
Yeah. And there definitely are treatments for gemstones that are not like commonly accepted. So that's important to know as well. But with sapphires, heat treatment is A-okay.
Yeah. And any jewelry store that is a credible jewelry store will have to let you know if it's been treated, and they provide that in an appraisal and everything. So you want to make sure, if you're not shopping with us, that you do look in that area.
Yeah, don't be afraid to ask. And if you, that's a very common question to ask, so you should be able to get a very easy answer on that front.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that. Okay. Where to now? I guess we should show some pretties. Let's look at my earrings first.
Oh yeah, those are really fun.
I think it's one of those things, a lot of times you can think sapphire and feel like it's only like fancy wear, but that's not the case.
No.
You know, I would say other than like a diamond wedding band, the most common gemstone band that we sell for women to wear with their wedding sets is sapphire, right? So it is absolutely an everyday stone. And we pulled some different bands here to show you guys. We have some alternating sapphire and diamond here, and these are in white gold. But we did have somebody ask specifically about yellow gold bands, and we can definitely do that. Anything that you see here, if you prefer in yellow, we can make that happen.
Absolutely.
And sapphires look amazing in both white and yellow gold.
I love them in yellow too. I just feel like that contrast with the blue and that gold is gorgeous.
It really is beautiful. Well, and I love that bracelet because obviously that bracelet has kind of a dressier feel. And that's just obviously a really special piece.
Yes, this is a vintage piece from the 80s. But honestly,
that's from our estate and antique department.
Super cool.
So pretty.
And I love how bright blue. They are with the gold too.
So you have something like that is a little dressier, and then you have something like this, which has a really like modern twist. So it's a chain bracelet with kind of like a tennis bracelet look across the top. So this is set in 18 karat white gold, and you have 1.08 carats of sapphires and 0.75 carats of diamonds. And this bracelet's $4,850.
It's gorgeous.
Isn't it pretty?
I really do love that style. It's
I do too. And it has rings around the back of the bracelet, guys. So depending on what size your wrist is, we can easily adjust it to fit you perfectly, which is so nice. I just love this piece. It's so fun. And a little more like everyday.
Yeah, I could easily, just like how I wear this bracelet every day, I could easily keep that on, throw it on, done.
And I would say from like a layering standpoint, we always talk to you guys, like for your jewelry wardrobe, what to kind of consider. If you don't have a sapphire piece in your wardrobe and you want to add it in, you really can't go wrong.
No.
It layers beautifully with any diamond look. It's going to look great even with your more casual designer pieces.
Yeah.
Because our designers are working in sapphire.
They do. I love the David Yurman necklaces on your table.
Yes.
Those are so fun.
So they're 18 karat gold, and they're charm necklaces set with paved sapphires.
Paved sapphires and some diamonds. They're just so cute.
I know.
Great way to like express yourself, kind of thing.
I know. Great everyday piece that you can just put on and wear all the time.
I know. I could totally layer it with my diamond necklace.
And I love Emily pointed out the cloud that has like the one raindrop.
The little raindrop. It's so cute.
So cute. I love it. And let me just give you guys an idea of prices on those so you're not wondering. So again, they're 18 karat golds. The cloud with the raindrop is $850. Let's see, the rainbow is $995. The evil eye is $895, and the anchor is $850. So that's an amazing look in 18 karat gold.
Oh yeah.
For under $1,000.
And they definitely, what's really fun about them too, is they definitely have that David Yurman cable around there too. So it's
very distinctive David Yurman, right?
Very cute.
I love it. Okay, so from a history standpoint, we showed that vintage bracelet from the 1980s. Can you tell us some little factoids about sapphires and kind of like how they've been used through history?
Sapphires are typically linked to royalty. And one of my favorite facts, well, a fact that most of you ladies know is Princess Diana had a sapphire engagement ring in 1981. So very similar to this style here.
Yep. This is a little bit smaller.
Just a little.
This ring is $6,400, set in 14 karat white gold. And just to give you guys an idea, that sapphire is 2.49 carats. How big was hers? I don't know.
Hers? I might have it in my little book. Let's see.
Did you guys see on the Crown this year about when Diana was picking out her ring, and they had like a box of rings, and a bunch of them were like already crown jewels, like owned by the Crown?
Yeah.
And of course she picked the
she picked
the Queen was like, oh yes, you picked one that's not ours.
We don't own it.
Yeah.
But speaking of owned jewels that they've had, so the crown jewels have been, around for years and years and years. And one of the oldest gems is a sapphire, and it was owned by King Edward the Confessor, and he actually died in 1066. So think about how old, he probably got it way before then.
Yeah.
So
that's still part of the crown jewels
today. Still part of
today.
the crown jewels today. It's so cool.
When I went to London, that was like my main goal. I was like, I don't care what else I do. Yeah. Well, other than going to the V&A Museum to look at all the jewelry, I was like, I have to go to the Tower of London to see all the crown jewels. That's like all I cared about. And so we were there, and I was there with one of my best friends, and she was pregnant and not feeling well. And for those of you all that haven't been, you get on this conveyor belt to keep the traffic moving. So you literally have to you can't stop. You're just trying to see as the conveyor belt takes you by. So there wasn't a lot of people there that day. So literally I was watching it, and it would go by, and I'm like, ugh. And I got off, and there was no line. And she looked at me, and she was like, you can keep going. I'm going to go sit over here on a bench. And I literally went 9 or 10 times.
Be me.
Yes, I just kept going by, and I was like, okay, this time I'll look at this. This time I'll, every time I was trying to see.
That's awesome.
I mean, I could have done it all day long.
Yeah. Emily just told me that Princess Diana's ring was a 12 karat.
Sapphire?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Gorgeous. And I'm pretty sure.
So much bigger than this 2.5?
Much bigger.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that the sapphire that King Edward had, that oldest crown jewel is the one that is, because back then they were able to take their jewelry and transition it into different pieces. So
super common. Yeah. When a new like monarch, the new monarch came in, they would change a lot of pieces.
Yeah, change it out. So like you can see the sapphire in the crown, and then you can also see it on a brooch, and so it's really cool.
So cool. Just to give you guys an idea, so this sapphire is 6.5 carats. This is my favorite one we have right now.
And it's half the size of what Princess Di's was.
I love this ring. Yeah. I just think the color is so vivid.
It is gorgeous.
And again, I know it's a little bit lighter, but I absolutely love it. And just to give you guys an idea, so this obviously has larger diamonds on the side stones, but this ring is $45,000. And it's set in platinum.
Those diamonds are pretty too.
This would make an amazing engagement ring.
Yes.
Or right hand ring. I love it. Okay. Since we're talking about royalty, should we just talk about this necklace in front of me for a hot minute?
Yes.
Yes, if you want to feel really royal, this necklace is $120,000, 16.97 carats of sapphires, and 15.38 carats of diamonds. It's so beautiful.
It's stunning.
And I had to pair it with this other necklace, guys, just to give you an example. So you have $120,000 here, and then you have $1,095.
And I love that pendant that you pulled. It's so
Isn't it pretty?
Sweet.
I know. It's a beautiful example of how sapphires can be royal jewels or everyday jewels. Okay, so let's talk about the colors, the fancy colors that you see. We talked a little bit about those amazing Robert Prokop pieces. The pinks, which next to the blues, I feel like a pink and yellow are the most common, would you say?
Probably most common.
We didn't have any set yellow sapphires here, which I was really surprised. I've got one little ditty. I have to show you guys this. This is so fun. The noise alone, it's extremely satisfying.
I'm calling it my Sapphire Baby Rattle.
Everyone should have a Sapphire Baby Rattle. So this is from our repair custom workshop. So we have these for all different gemstones, so that depending on what custom jobs we have or repair jobs, we can come and look to see what we have in-house before we have to order in stones. I know, it's so satisfying. I just like want to stick my finger in here and
just play around.
I know. The reason I wanted to show you all this top one is because, so these are all round sapphires, and there is a yellow sapphire right there in the middle of the sea of blue sapphires.
I know. That's so fun.
I will say, when I was probably like 21 or 22, I went to an event, and there was a woman that was probably 65, and she was so elegant and beautiful. And I, of course, always look at everyone's jewelry, and I noticed that she had like an Easter egg yellow sapphire ring on her finger. It was enormous and amazing. And I, of course, had to talk to her about it. So I went up and talked to her, and it was her engagement ring from 45 years prior.
That's awesome.
She said she'd always wanted a yellow sapphire. And it was so beautiful.
And see, ladies, you can wear a sapphire every day for 45 years.
Well, and I think one of the things I like to mention too is, and this comes back to appraisals and insurance. It's just like my emerald ring that I wear every day. Emeralds are like a much softer stone and not necessarily the best everyday wearing stone. I wear mine every day. I have it insured, knowing that if something is to happen to it, then I have it insured and I can replace it. So regardless of if it's a diamond or a sapphire or an emerald, we recommend that for your most precious pieces that you make sure they are appraised and insured. And if your piece comes from Bailey's, you get the either letter of value depending on the value of it or a full appraisal so that you can get it insured.
Very important.
With every piece. And even if your piece is not from us, you can schedule with our appraiser to get that appraised. We do that every day. So, okay. What else should we show?
I do want to show this pink one too, because this is amazing. So I got this in from another one of our stores that usually lives in Greenville, but it is so pretty, that pink.
And I love that you had it paired with that pink and diamond band too. And the great thing is, if you love pink gemstones, you know, pink diamonds are obviously extremely rare and very expensive. Which we just had recently. We had 4 pink diamond rings. They were about $2 million in the store recently. And we'll share some pictures of those at some point on social. But literally, they were so beautiful. But why pink sapphire is a great option is obviously the price point. but they're actually more saturated pink.
They
typically.
are pinker.
A pink diamond is going to be typically pretty light pink, whereas you can get beautiful, deeply saturated pink sapphires. It can kind of get you the same look for a more realistic
And the
price
cool
point.
thing is they come in all different shades of pink. So you're seeing in this how it was so vivid, that real kind of Barbie pink in my opinion, and then this one's kind of a more pale pink.
Kind of baby pink, which is really pretty. It's very like delicate looking.
I know. And then
Just
I
to
love
give them an
this little
idea,
guy, too.
just to give them an idea, Alyssa, how much is that diamond and pink sapphire band?
Yep. This one here is set in platinum, and it has a carat of pink sapphires, and it is $4,750, so $4,750.
So pretty.
It is, and it's such a classic look too. Like that's just something.
Look
that's
how
like so
amazing that ring
everyday.
is. It's so beautiful. I love it.
And then I'm kind of obsessed with this little guy too.
I love the bezel.
I know, I love it. And this one's set in 14 karat rose gold.
That's why
with
you
that
love
pink
it so
sapphire.
much.
I know, because I love rose. And this guy with its sweet little diamonds, just a real simple look. I think it'd be a great everyday. This one's $1,550.
Well, and for someone that had an under $2,000 budget for an
yeah.
engagement ring, what a
Ooh,
special ring.
I love that.
And then if she really loves pink, you could pair it with an all pink sapphire rose gold band.
Yeah, we could definitely like do a custom thing so it fit
be
right
amazing.
under. That'd be really fun.
Right?
I love that.
So if you're looking for pink, that's a great option. That'd be beautiful. And I love that the oval-shaped sapphire is set east to west across the finger. Just makes it kind of like super modern with that bezel.
It's really comfortable. I
so
love
pretty. So while we're talking about rings, will you share our rainbow band from our Goldmark collection?
Yes, I've got it right here. I love it.
That ring gets so much love.
It's just so fun.
And how much is it?
It is, oh gosh, I have my little price right here.
I should know it right off the top of my head.
This one's $395.
I was going to say $495. That's even better.
Yeah. And it has all the, and it goes like halfway
Fully
around.
halfway around, yeah.
It's awesome. And it's just a great little pop. I want like all the rainbow pieces.
I know.
They're
love
fun.
them. And we have that ring in size 6, 7, and 8. But if that size is not what you need it to be, that's an easy adjustment for us.
It's sizable.
Yeah.
We can size it down.
I love it. And you showed it, didn't you show it the other day? You had 2 of them and you used them as like guard rings.
Yes, and that was so cute.
It looked amazing.
We just posted that a couple days ago.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
And we have had several women buy that to work into their engagement ring stack with their other bands, just to be like a fun ring, not necessarily for every day, but just like a fun pop of color.
I love it.
For $395.
Why not?
It's amazing.
It's really cute.
And then we also have part of the Goldmark collection. So we have that band, we have the bracelet, which we shared, and then we have the necklace as well. And how much is that necklace?
The necklace is $495.
Okay, yep.
The bracelet's $425, and then the little stud earrings, which I'm obsessed
The
with.
little sticks, they're so cool.
They're so cool, and they are $250, which is amazing. And then
all set in 14 karat gold.
And then I did pull these. These are not a part of our Goldmark collection, but they do go with it if you're looking for another piece to add in. These little hoops, they're so fun.
It's a great size hoop too, because it's not a true like tiny huggy.
Yeah.
It's a little bit larger of a hoop.
It's good. And these are $495.
Amazing.
I love all the rainbow. It's
do
really
too.
my favorite thing right now.
It's really fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we pulled a ruby ring as well to show y'all, which is kind of like, well, wait, we're not talking about rubies, but this is an amazing example. Ruby's my birthstone. I love rubies.
I love rubies.
This ring right here is like on another level. So it is a 4 karat ruby, and really the color of it is just unbelievable. It's like almost like a pigeon, what do they call it? Pigeon's blood red.
Yeah. Such an interesting name that they give
I know.
But.
And this ring is $75,000. And the reason I wanted to show you guys this, so this is corundum like we talked about. The only difference being that trace element that turns it red, and so then it becomes a ruby. And what's interesting is that when I was doing some research about cuts and carat weights of corundum, I thought it was really interesting that for the most part, rubies are going to be smaller in size, and they are a lot more rare than sapphires, which is why the price point of them is going to be higher than sapphires. So I think that's just kind of an interesting call out.
And I like to think of it too. So people are like, well, it's just a color difference. Why is it so much rarer? And I'm like, well, if you think about it, when you look out in nature, you don't see a lot of red things that
True
are
red,
like
yep.
truly red and alive and pretty. You know, you see the leaves change and it's red and they're kind of
and
dying
what
and going
red
away.
flowers? Poppies, geraniums.
So you don't see roses. You
Roses.
don't see as much red out in the world as you do like blues and greens.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good little idea to think about.
So again, same mineral, same hardness on the scale, a 9. So again, a very durable stone, a great everyday wearing stone. It just is in a different price point, typically, than your more traditional or fancy colored sapphires.
Yes. And we do have the red color in our gold mark collection that we were showing in the rainbow selection. And it is red, but it's just not as deep of a red.
Or more purple or pink, maybe.
It's more pinky
Yep.
than your true ruby red.
Well, and I love that fan pin that we have from our estate and antique department.
That's so fun.
Because that has rubies and sapphires, which was a really common combination. You see it a lot in vintage and antique jewelry. And again, I think it's because of the durability of those two stones.
They didn't crack and chip or anything.
Well, and I have to show y'all my newest acquisition.
I love that one.
You know, I love estate and vintage and antique jewelry, so I'm always looking for pieces. And I specifically love snake jewelry, which is obviously made popular in the Victorian era. It was Queen Victoria's engagement ring.
It's so cool.
Was a serpent. And so this is my latest acquisition, and it has a sapphire and a ruby. Super fun. Y'all know I'm all about a pinky ring.
I know, I love that ring. It's so cool.
It's fun, right? Okay. What else do we want to share? Should we look at a couple more designer pieces?
Yeah.
We pulled, so Seaman Sheps, as y'all know, is one of my favorite designers. It is a storied brand that's been around for over 100 years. And it is all manufactured and designed now in New York City. And I pulled these 3 pairs of earrings just to show y'all some different examples. So I love that you'll see a lot pearl with sapphire. I love that. A great bridal jewelry look.
Yes.
But such a pretty combination in the colors. I just love, love, love these earrings. They're set in 18 karat white gold. So I would say that's kind of like a playful traditional look with those big pearls, which are so beautiful. And then I love these earrings, which the only way we can describe the sapphires on those are cabochon claws.
I know. They're like little claws. I love them.
It's such a playful way to incorporate sapphires. I love it. And we also have that earring with emeralds.
And how they're cut is so cool. I just think that's the coolest part of it.
I agree.
The sapphires.
It's really, really neat. And then the yellow gold right behind here, I love these guys. So these are 18 karat gold as well, Seaman Sheps, and these have the Tutti Frutti colorway. So you've got a combination of emerald, ruby, and sapphire.
I love that. That's my favorite combo, like a real favorite combo.
It's amazing, right? So pretty. And just to give you guys an idea, these earrings are $17,500, 18 karat gold, ruby, emerald, and sapphire.
And y'all, ruby, emerald, and sapphire, they are, I know emerald are a little bit less, they're durable, a little softer and everything, but those 3 combos, they're known as your kind of your precious gemstones. So they're, I mean, all gemstones in my opinion are precious, but these are going to be your most rarest, the ones hardest to find, and they're also the most desirable ones.
They're just so pretty. Okay, so let's talk phenomenal gems. So there's a lot of different gemstones that have phenomenal qualities, and sapphire is one of them. So you're gonna see it kind of 2 different ways. The most common way you see it is what we call a star sapphire. And literally what that means is inside of the sapphire, it has needle-like inclusions that, based on the way that they actually are positioned inside the stone. So even just think about that. Like, that's insane. Really cool. Like, so rare, so cool. That when they're cut in a cabochon fashion, so meaning domed, when the light hits it, it actually creates, it's called asterism, and it's a star.
Yeah.
And the same concept applies for like a cat's eye. You'll see certain stones that have cat's eye. You see it that way, the needles are all going in the same direction, so you get kind of like a single line, whereas the star, you'll typically see that it has 6 points. And again, it's just the way the needles inclusions are positioned inside the stone.
It's so wild.
I mean, it really makes me geek out. I love it.
Is it picking it up?
So guys, I wanted to show you this loose sapphire because I think it's a perfect example. So a lot of us have jewelry laying around in our jewelry boxes that maybe we've inherited from a grandmother or an aunt, or even a piece that we've had a long time and we just don't like the design of it anymore. I wanted to show you guys this because we can easily either source a sapphire for you or take it out of an existing piece of your jewelry and reimagine it. We can make it something new and fresh and amazing and something that you'll enjoy every single day. Yeah. Or we can find you one of our stones out of our Sapphire baby Rattle.
I know, I'm actually talking with a client right now that is wanting to make a custom wedding band, and she has this really cool, like, soft pear-shaped sapphire, and she wants to incorporate it into the wedding band because it's her fiance's birthstone. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute.
I love that.
And it's just gems that she has laying around.
Yeah.
You know?
So whether you've had your heart set on a sapphire, we can absolutely source you something beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
We can, even if you have this is something worth mentioning too, if you have a piece of jewelry, say it's something that has a lot of little sapphires, maybe pave set, and a stone is popped out and it's been missing and you haven't been able to wear it and you're just concerned that you don't have the stone anymore, bring it in and let us take a look at it because like I said, we've got a lot of gemstones laying around and typically we can find something to perfectly match what you have or what you've lost. And then you have a piece that you can enjoy again.
Oh, yeah.
So we can make your sapphire dreams come true. Absolutely. Okay, I feel like we've talked about a lot.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure you like this video, and if you have any questions or comments, make sure you leave those below, and we'll make sure to get those questions answered for you. And if you want to see more of us, make sure you subscribe to our channel where we talk all things jewelry and gems, and we have a perpetual jewelry party. So we will see you again soon.
Bye.